Hi. In this video, I'm going to be talking about taking breaks to vocal tunes versus taking breaks to fiddle tunes. I'm going to focus on this because I think vocal tunes, there's not a whole lot said about working out breaks. Fiddle tunes, there's quite a bit of stuff out there, but fiddle tunes also are very notey. Hi, kitty. And whereas as vocal tunes, they have a lot of long notes, and you can do a lot with them. I'm center this around the three T's: timing, tone, and taste. I think we could all agree that that a successful or a good break is one that's played in time with good tone and is tasteful. That's fairly simple. But I'm going to focus on the last one, taste. Timing and tone, I might do something on that, but that really gets into technique, and because technique has everything to do with your timing and tone. But the question is, so I'm just going to focus on taste. So what makes a tasteful break? And I would say just something that fits the song. Early in my youth, when I was learning how to play, I focused on what sounded cool. And I developed a bag of tricks, a bunch of licks and phrases that I could play at any time. And when the break came around to me, I just kind of strung a bunch of these phrases together, and that was a break. Voila, I had a break. But was it a tasteful break? Not really. I would say it was a break with all icing and no cake. And I did that for a while. Then about maybe 30 years ago, I asked myself, why does Doc Watson sound so good? What does he do? Well, he plays in time for the most part. He does speed. He plays with good tone. And he plays the melody. So he plays what fits the song, and he varies that a little bit, but for the most part, he plays the melody. I would say that's very tasteful. So that's kind of started me on a new adventure, a new journey, to try to pick out melodies of the song, and then not only that, but use the musical building blocks that I have available to me, to try to find my own voice and try to discover who I was as a player. That's the process that I went through, and I think it's good for everyone to go through that process. And I don't think there's a lot really talked about in that these days. A few years back, I was in a workshop where they were advocating, or the person basically said to ignore the melody because that's boring, and then to just play modes of the scales over the chords. And I nearly fell out of my chair. I thought that was completely backwards. To me, you need to start with melody. That's your anchor, and then capture the feel of the song through that melody, and then go from there, progress from there. I think people got Tony Rice wrong. When Tony first developed his voice, he was very much, I think, anchored in melody. And then I'm going to use the analogy of a tree. He's rooted in melody, and then he grew his own tree. And then what we see is the result of that is this tree, and we're all trying to copy Tony and pick out branches of that tree. But what we need to do is start with melody, anchor ourselves, and grow our own tree. So what happens too, I think, when you're playing those scales over chords, or you're from your bag of tricks, for one thing, one consequence is all your breaks sound alike, and you don't develop your ear. It's harder than it sounds to say pick the melody. It is hard, and to translate sounds in your head to sounds on the fretboard. That's not easy, and it takes a while, to develop that ear. But I would say we use the wrong part of our brain when we're taking breaks. When we're learning chord shapes and forms and all those musical building blocks that we learn through our playing, we're thinking our way through a break. We're not feeling our way through a break. And we're using the left side of our brain, that analytical side, when we should be engaging the emotional side of our brain. So when we learn all that stuff, the trick is to forget that stuff and just play the song. Of course you're leveraging those things, but primarily you're just playing the song. I asked a good friend of mine, what goes through your head when you're taking a break? And he said, nothing. I'm singing through my guitar. And I was just like, oh my God, that's exactly right. You're singing through your guitar. So if we're trying to engage that emotional side of ourselves when we're taking a break, what do we need to do first if we're trying to learn a song? Now, I'd say it's very hard at first to try to come up with a break just on the spot in real time when it's coming around the jam. So I advocate actually sitting at home and working out breaks to songs that you sing or popular songs that you've heard in jams. And if nothing else, that can be your anchor. You could just execute that break. Or if you feel inspired in that moment when the groove is good and you're around people who are listening and your emotional self is really there, then you can play around with it. People are better than that than others, but this is not something you're just going to do right off the bat. So I advocate actually working out breaks for yourself, which means take a song you want to learn, listen to it over and over to get the feel of it, and then you want to, if that's a song you sing that tune and play rhythm to yourself, and then pick out the melody. So we're going to go through a couple exercises today. One is Happy Birthday, which we all know, and I might mess up. I don't care. You're at home. If you try to do this, I bet you'll mess up too. You're not going to hit the melodies straight away. Then we'll try a little Cabin Home on the Hill. That's my go-to. So Happy Birthday is first sing it and then play the chords. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. So now you have the chords. Okay, so then chord forms, and I know this is a G, that's a D, that's a C, so chord form. Okay, so just do that, find that melody. And then try to play with it. Okay, so that's just a song, and play around with it, and I'm not saying, make Happy Birthday your greatest song ever, and then it comes around to a jam, you go, hey, let's all do Happy Birthday. That's not going to happen. You'll get the stink eye from a lot of people. Oh, geez, look at the time. But I played around with that tune about a year ago, and I came up with something I thought sounded pretty cool, and then I lost it, of course, but now let's talk about Little Cabin Home on a Hill, something that's an actual song. What would you do with that? So first again, I would sing it, play rhythm to it. Tonight I'm alone without you, my dear. It seems, I'm not going to torture you with my voice, but here's the melody, and I'll sing it while I'm playing. Tonight I'm alone without you, my dear. It seems I'm longing for you still. All I have to do now is sit alone and cry in our old cabin home on the hill. So that might be a break that I would take to Little Cabin on the Home on the Hill. It fits the song. I'm playing the melody, and so I would say, yeah, it's pretty tasteful. You can play around with that. You can do more icing, but that's a lot of cake right there. You could probably do. That one up, but whatever. So that's it. So my point is, if you're trying to learn a break to a song, start with the melody. You'll be surprised how hard that is to actually find the actual melody and listen to yourself sing it and make sure it is right.